Okay, Shalom, Shalom, Kwame Sha'ala, Koholoyim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kahakodash, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us His beautiful truth, and just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akhwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawak, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And the true name of the Father is Yahweh, which the world calls the Most High. Yahweh meaning He exists, or the existing one He is to be. And the true name of His Son, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus, is Yahweh Shai, which means that He's the Savior or deliverer in the Paleo-Hebrew. And I wanted to touch on this article. I want to actually get the copyright disclaimer because I want to play a couple of videos in here. But it says, man invited a woman he'd been dating to his home, but her ex tracked her there with an AirTag. It got worse when he loaned her his car. So, you have to be circumspect and watch yourself out here with these women. And I've been said this, when this Apple AirTag shit came out a few years ago, we done lessons on this, man. This is nothing but a tracking device. They try and make it seem like, it's to locate something. But if you so goddamn stupid that you need something like this to locate your wallet, to locate your keys, to locate your backpack, as if you didn't know where you set the shit down at, and you deserve to be tracked. But we knew that what this was about. This is a tracking device. This is not some shit to help you find something. Like, what's in your house that, like, come on, bro. When they came out with this, I already knew what it was going to be about. Anyway, let me get the copyright disclaimer real quick. Okay, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
She was respected in the community, owned her own business and stuff. I thought I'd finally found somebody that was, maybe compatible with me, and, I thought she was attractive, and she had her head on her shoulders, and this and the other, whatever, so we ended up talking for about a week and a half, and decided to go out and get some drinks, cool, and hit it off. It was good conversation. It was a fun time. So another week goes by, and I invited her over to my house, and we had some drinks, and long story short, she ended up staying the night, whatever. So that next morning, at about 9 o'clock in the morning, I hear somebody pounding on my door, like straight up pounding. Mind you, my bedroom at this point in time is up in my finished attic on the third story of my home. And it woke me up. That's how loud this pounding was. So I was like, what the heck is going on? I looked outside the window and I was like, red truck. She's like, oh my God, are you serious? I was like, yeah, like red work truck. She goes, oh my God, that's my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, oh, really? Like, for real? Like, your ex-boyfriend, right? She's like, yeah, that's my ex-boyfriend. And I was like, well, look, I told you that I have like 4 children. I don't need any problems, not looking for problems, especially at my home where my children live half of the time. Like, you need to please go take care of this. And I understand that this might not be your fault, but I don't want to talk to you unless this gets taken care of. About a week goes by, and she contacts me, says it's all set, it's all taken care of. And I asked, I was like, what was that about? Like, what was that situation? She said that her ex-boyfriend, had put an Apple AirTag on her vehicle. And yeah, that's red flag number 1. Should have listened to my intuition on that one. But anyways, I was like, look, I understand this might not be your fault. You might just have a crazy ex-boyfriend. I'm interested enough to, keep talking to you just as long as that situation is done and over with. So we continue talking. About 3 weeks, a month goes by, and her car broke down, and she needed to go to a court case about 45 minutes away from where we live. And I told her that she could just borrow my car. No big deal. It's got full coverage insurance on it. Like, I'm totally fine with you, borrowing it for, 3 hours or so. No big, I figured 3 hours was long enough for a court case to start to finish and whatever. So This was about 9 o'clock in the morning. She borrowed my car to go to this court case, and I'm expecting to hear a call back somewhere around 12:30 in the afternoon. So I'm working at this point, and 3 o'clock rolls around, and I haven't heard a single word. I've texted a couple times. I've called a couple times. No answers, no response. I even called the courthouse to see what was going on, and they informed me that court case had been postponed. It was rescheduled. So I'm now thinking, like, where's my car? Who did I just let borrow my car? So I call, I text many multiples of times over the next couple hours. Finally, I get a response back, and it's her, and I'm asking, hey, where are you? I talked to the courts. They said it was all canceled, and she's like, I got to a fight with my attorney. I am now 2 hours away from where I was supposed to be. So my mind is now blown. I'm like, okay, well, could you not have, messaged me? Could you not have told me that you were going to be longer than expected or had to go to a different place? And she apologized. I said, okay, well, I kind of need my vehicle back. And she goes, well, I don't know where it is. Now I'm starting to freak out a little bit. Like, how do you not know where my car is? You don't know where you parked it? You don't know where you are? Like, I don't understand. You're now 2.5 hours away from where you said you were going to be, and now you can't find my car. So now I'm thinking, is my car going to get towed and brought to an impound lot? My mind's just blown. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? So about a half hour after this, she's like, I found it. Thank you. Thank you for finding my car that you borrowed. So my next question was, are you leaving? Are you on your way back? I kind of need my car back. She said, yes, I'm leaving right now. I'll be there in about 2.5 hours. So I'm sitting on my couch, staring out my window for literally 2.5 hours. I knew it was going to be 2.5 hours, but I'm still sitting, staring out my window, just waiting for my car to come down the road. So about 7:30 rolls around. I'm looking out my window, and lo and behold, who comes driving down my dead-end street? Mind you, I'm the last house on the dead-end street. Big red work truck comes driving down my dead-end street. My mind is blown. I'm like, there is no way. Why is this guy driving down my road right now? I thought this was all taken care of. What's going on? He turns around in my neighbor's driveway and leaves. About a half hour after that, I'm looking out the window, and I see a vehicle which appears to be my car. And it's not dark enough to not be able to see, but it's not light enough to be able to tell completely either. So I'm like, well, that kind of looks like my car. And immediately after my car turns down the road, a state trooper turns immediately behind it and flicks the blues on. And this woman proceeds to do about 60, maybe 70 miles an hour down my dead-end road, barrels it into my driveway, almost hits the kids' basketball hoops, the swimming pool, the trampoline, and I don't know what is about to unfold. She opens the door to my driver's side. The music is absolutely blaring, and the state trooper immediately walks right over to her driver's side door, and she's like, oh, I had no idea you were there. So I'm watching out my window, and he's talking to her. He asked her to get back in the car and just sit there for a minute while he's asking her questions, and she starts getting a little melty with him, and he's asking her questions about, hey, have you been drinking? Hey, or have you been doing any drugs or anything like that? And she's like, no, swears up and down.
Okay, so I didn't know the video was going to play that long, so lucky for that. Because I was thinking it was going to be 2 shorts. Because it's another second part to the video down here, which I won't play. Because we got enough of it. But the second part of the video, pretty much, because I read the article. So what happened was, they ended up finding all kinds of drink. He said 15 alcoholic containers under the seats and shit. This bitch done went and got fucked all up in this dude's car. Found some other shit in the car. But anyway, he ended up kind of getting in trouble for it because, of course, it's his car. But he kind of went, he went to the police station, explained everything, and then the following day, supposedly the same guy with the red truck that put the Apple AirTag in her car ended up following him the next day, and he said he called the police. The police told him to leave, just drive straight to the police station, because they kind of knew already what was up with it, because he explained everything the day before. And he drove to the police station. The guy pulls up in the red truck. They ended up, pretty much, questioning him and all this other shit, because of course now you stalking this guy, and he ended up having to get a restraining order on both of them, actually, to kind of keep himself safe. But, a number of things we can get out of this. Like I said again, I didn't mean for the video to play that long, but let me get this one. Hey, always pray, to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And this is for you so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Because when I first saw the video, or when I read the title, I was kind of thinking this got to be Jake. You know what I'm saying? But he appears to be an Edomite, kind of, I don't know. You got some simps out here. He could be a Jake. He could be, an Israelite that just looked like a so-called white man. But, you just never can tell. But it sounds like some Edomite shit to me. Ephesians 5:15. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So, you have to watch who you're kicking it with. You have to, matter of fact, that's in 2 Timothy chapter 3, where it talks about in the last days, perilous times shall come. And then I think that's verse 5, where it talks about, matter of fact, let me just get it. Because it gives you a list of how the people will be acting in the end days. But it says, verse 5, it says, holding to a form of outward godliness. No, Salaki, I'm reading it in the Amplified. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. So these particular people, when you read through the list, I'll just read through the list. Starting from verse 1, it says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. Right? That's a lock, yeah. Traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. So that's a list of people that if you just see them giving them attributes off, if they're exhibiting 2, 3 of them, 4, 5 of them, we got to deal with our families and stuff like that. But it's best you just get rid of somebody like that. And this guy, he wasn't using wisdom. You let her come to your crib. She know where you live. This clown got an Apple AirTag, which, I wanted to go into Revelation 13:16 on that. But you have to be careful with allowing people to just pull up at your crib. He let her stay the night. And this is only after a week of knowing her, Like, nah, we can meet up somewhere. You really, I don't know, you just got to assess things. But overall, it just straight comes down to prayer. And I mentioned that, so let me grab that one. You might run across something that's fine. The scriptures talks about stumbling out at the beauty of a woman. You don't want to fall all out of your wits for some chick, man. Because that could have went way left. He could have died from that. It could have been, this guy coming back on your block and you got your children. I'm assuming, he's sharing custody with his other woman or whoever he was with beforehand. But that could have been deadly. Because if a motherfucker crazy enough to put an AirTag into a person's vehicle and follow him like that, then something's not right with him to begin with. But this is First Thessalonians 5:17, and it reads, just plain, pray without ceasing. So you want to pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai without ceasing, man. So this is Revelation 13:16. First thing I thought about, that was way back when they first came out with them tags. Because, they got these shoes called Skechers for kids. Skechers. And they're children's shoes. And they got these little slots in the insoles where it's just for Apple tags. It's for stuff like that. A tracking device where you can slide it into the insole of the shoe. And when I first, seen the article, I'm thinking like, okay, so is this to keep track of your children? They was trying to say that it's because children lose their shoes all the time, and you just looking through the house, you trying to find that other shoe, you just trying to find that one shoe, because kids are, well, why not just take the kids' shoes and put them up where you know exactly where the shoes are, you know what I'm saying? So, but we already know that if you putting something like that in a child's shoe, then shit, I mean, it's you can track them as well, you know? And that's why you have to be circumspect about who's around your children, who's around your kids. You know what I'm saying? You just at the playground and some random person runs up, you know what I'm saying? Oh, she's so cute, or he's so cute, and this, and this, you know? And then they try and get close enough to, get to, touching on them, and motherfucker could easily slip a Apple AirTag into their little pocket, or, just long enough to actually see where you live, type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got like the baby bag, the diaper bag, little shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You got their little snacks and juices in it, and they running up on you. And that's even with women, because, you have women, they all friendly, and she comes running up. Oh, they're so cute. What are they, how old are they? Or whatever. And this bitch is setting you up for some other dude. You just got to be circumspect, man, because we're living in the last days where things are pretty fucking wild. And one of the things Yahweh Shah spoke of in Matthew chapter 24 was that because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But this is Revelation 13:16 with that tracking device, because this is what Esau, see, when you think about it, this is what Esau really wants to do to all people. Imagine being tracked like that. That shit make you want to fuck somebody up, So imagine, this is what Esau ultimately wants to do with the population. He wants to basically put that Apple AirTag inside your fucking body so he can track you, so he can deduct any amount of money that you may owe, or so that he can, know your vitals, or your heartbeat, or your, he's just watching you, just, your shit just pinging, like, you know what I'm saying, with the app where, if you lose your phone, you can find your damn phone. And he's constantly just tracking you and wanting to know your every move, all your whereabouts. Hey, what's up now? What's up, Unc? And so, okay, it says on Revelation 13:16, and he called it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to buy or sell without this particular mark. And it's gonna be treacherous, man. Because Esau, why do you think this man is setting up cameras everywhere? That's not enough for him. He wants to really take it further, man. He really wants total control of the population of people, as if he's God. He has a God-like complex, man. Imagine that. A motherfucker's able to just put something that small, because it's only like about the size of a quarter. A person can put one of them anywhere. I could have one of them bitches in my car right now. I probably wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is sticking them all underneath your, the back of your license plate. Because when they first came out, it was a lot of complaints on that. It was a lot, and it was mainly women. I didn't hear no dudes making no complaints, but it was women, saying that, they kept seeing the same car, or they kept seeing the same person following them, and this, or they just, everywhere they went, this particular person would be there. It's just like, how am I just keep on seeing this same person? You got weirdos like that. You got stalkers, man. Then come to find out it's a fucking tracking device. And they got all kinds of tracking devices, man. They small, big, It's nothing, man, for these people to matter of fact, let's just put in trackers. I'm just going to put in tracking devices. I've never done it before, but let's just see about what it is, shit. I know the Ak, he be speaking on that, because he drive those trucks, and he been talking about, he done quite a few videos on the RFID system or whatever. See, they got it right here. I ain't even had to put it. It said tracking devices for cars, tracking devices for kids, tracking devices for vehicles, tracking devices that don't notify iPhone, tracking devices for people with dementia, tracking devices for kids with autism. See, they're going to use shit like that because they're going to say, well, and I was just, that's the spirit, because I was just watching the elder, Apostle Tahar, and he was going off into a video with the elder out in South Carolina going into that same subject, because T.I. was on some show with some other guy, and he was going off into the microchip. He mentioned microchip, Revelation 13:16, what I just read. But basically, the elder was like, they're basically, and I have been saying this all along to myself, that they're going to use stuff like this to say, well, if you allow us to put the microchip into your child as a baby, or just in general, then we'll be able to find them. They will never get lost. If they get lost, we can find them immediately. If someone tries to kidnap them, we can find them immediately, And see, it goes on to say right here, tracking devices for people, tracking devices for dogs, tracking devices for Android, tracking devices for adults with dementia. So they're gonna try and make it seem like, oh well. And I seen a lady. It was a guy not that long ago. I think I done a lesson on it, if I'm not mistaken. It was a guy out here in not too far away from where I live here. He was an older gentleman. He had autism. He was like 30 years old or something like that. And he ended up leaving the house, walking away, and everybody was looking for him. They put out the alert for him and all this stuff like that. And they found him in a creek. He had died. He drowned in a creek not too far away from here. And so when I seen the news of it, I say about a week later after that, I'm not sure if it was the mother or someone of her family that came up with a device, basically, like a it was kind of, like a bowl for your hair, or little things that you can, little band, or it was little jewelry pieces, or so to speak, that you can put on the child or a person. They had them in all different styles, all different kinds of things, where you can put the device on a person and you can keep it. But it was for people with autism. And as soon as I seen that, I think I thought about this, but it was the way that they said it. I'm like, yeah, that's a straight tracking device. That's the way that they would, try and ease people over into the comfort of that kind of stepping into your privacy, so to speak. But I mean, you can clearly see it's plenty of shit. Let's see these tracking devices for vehicles. What they got? GPS tracking for work trucks. See, and a company, they can actually say, well, these are my fleet trucks. You know what I'm saying? I need to know where they are exactly and when, whatever. So let's get some images on it. Let's see what they got working with. See, look at this one right. Look at how small these are right here. This is Amazon. I didn't even know this. That's kind of, it's similar to the Apple AirTag. See, they got this one right here. See, they got the kid with the backpack. You can put one on the dog with his collar. You can put one in your car. The motherfucker's giving you a goddamn 4-pack. This one right here looking like a damn 8-pack. See? So and you could, it says precise positioning. Then they got a 2-way search. See? So Esau not playing no game. The tech is already out here. They're just making things smaller and smaller and smaller. So eventually they'll say, well, all right, well, what if the backpack is gone and the child is missing? We found the backpack, but we can't find the child. So they're just gonna take it next level where we can put it inside of people, and that solves that problem. You know what I'm saying? So here you go. You can clearly see that's just for cars. Not that much, $34.90. You're looking at $35. They got one right here for $15. They got another one for $50, looking like a bigger, I don't know, maybe possibly a better one. I don't know. They got the ones that you can plug in, to the bottom of your, just underneath your steering wheel. Yeah. So, hey. I'm talking about small enough where you won't notice. If you're not a person, especially if you're not tech savvy, you won't know that this shit is in the vehicle. But that Apple AirTag, that shit is kind of small. Matter of fact, let's put one in. Let's see. They got them where, they got some with monthly fees. They got some without monthly fees. I'm going to end out here in a sec. I didn't want to keep the lesson that long. I knew when they brought that shit, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, where the fuck would they, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already know people going to track people with that shit. See? And they not even that much. You can get one at Target for $30. I thought there was a little bit more than that. Look at this. Like, they showing you this one key shit. Like, why the fuck would you lose a key? You can stuff that goddamn key in your wallet. Down one of the sleeves of your wallet and make sure that you just got your damn wallet on you. Look at this shit, bro. This shit is retarded. For your key? Like, where could you lose your key at? But you just in Walmart and you just, oh, my key. Come on, bro. I knew when they came out with this shit, it was going to be a problem. Anyway, I didn't want to end out, didn't want to keep it that long. I'm going to end out, so yeah, brothers, be circumspect with these chicks. You know what I'm saying? Because that's crazy work. He done let her borrow the car. She come back, she drunk as fuck. The damn state troopers on her ass. He ended up having to get a restraining order, on both of them. And that could have ended deadly, man. You know what I'm saying? So again, pray without ceasing, man. Pray to Yahweh about H.I.M, man. But this microchipping thing is going to be real soon, man, in this world. Where Esau Edom is going to have people lining up to get... We're going to see how it's going to play out. But, Esau, he's gonna play on the mind of the people with the food, water, medicine, travel, things that people need to do, the essentials. He got that on lock. He can say whether or not, you're going to be able to go into this store and get your baby some milk. Or if you're going to be able to get some diapers, or you're going to be able to go to take your child to even go to your job. To pay for daycare, to pay for gas, to even get... I don't give a fuck what it is. You're not going to be able to do anything unless you accept this microchip. And if you do, crazy work, man. Well, this is where we're at. And let me get one more since I'm at Revelation 13. Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel, it says, doom for worshipers of the beast. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. If you receive this thing, man, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh. Great wrath too, man. You don't want no parts of Yahweh's wrath. It says, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, which is his anger. Fierce anger, man. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. So, hey, it's not going to be a good look. Now, let me get 16, too. Revelation 16, verse 2. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. See? So, that's going to be like some tumorous, cancerous, and that word noisome goes off into stink or smell, a bad smelling sore, man. Pretty all I can imagine is gangrene, rottage, where your sores where your skin is rotten, where it smells bad, so be circumspect. This is what it's all leading up to, and I know that's kind of like, the story could have went a few different ways, but this is serious, man. Wish I could have got to the second part, but I just pretty much overrode. This was the second part, which but he's quite happy. But it says a few things in here. It says the CDC notes that common stalking behaviors include showing up at a victim's home, monitoring their movements, and using technology such as GPS devices or Bluetooth trackers. Researchers have also found that while devices like AirTags were designed to help people locate lost items, which is stupid as hell, they have been exploited for stalking purposes despite built-in features intended to prevent that. They know what they was doing when they done that, man. Anyway, get the point, man. So, be circumspect out here. We know that mark of the beauty of the beast is coming soon, because this is the technology. This simple technology. Esau got shit far greater than this, man. Smaller than this. That grain of rice size, man. So with that, shalom.